I am often struck by how different they look compared to the resort municipality of Whistler, British Columbia, where the Olympics were in 2010. Most cities in North America have got garish, horrible signage on buildings. Unbelievable. Well, in Canada, if you're in Canada, Shoppers Drug Mart is a prime example. A huge, ugly Shoppers on the side of a big box building. It's disgustingly ugly, but you're so used to seeing it, you don't see it being ugly. Until one day when you're driving around town and you say, my God, look at that disgusting building, Shoppers Drug Mart. And then you continue down, pardon me, the boulevard, Memorial Avenue, which, well, at one time had beautiful trees lining the side of the boulevard, but they were all cut down. And you drive by Silver City, which is an even bigger big box monstrosity covered in, well, Silver City logos and things. It looks like dog barf. If you go down Red River Road, the main drag in the old Port Arthur, or Arthur Street, the main drag in the former Fort William, it's disgusting. The streets are just lined with sandwich boards and, well, strip malls. They're ugly, unbelievably ugly. And of course, in downtown Fort William, you have got Victoriaville. Well, the sign of Victoriaville is actually pretty. But, well, the rest of the downtown since Victoriaville has become nothing but the drunken patrons of the bar that spill out onto the street, and you have to be very careful because they're liable to dodge into traffic and land on the hood of your car. There's Barbie's Bargoons. There's the old facade of the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, and the building itself was either burned or torn down. The movie theaters, both of them, are gone. The city is a mess. It is the most ugly city possible. You could not get an uglier city, and it is due to businesses having disgusting buildings. I won't talk to you about the Sun Life Insurance building in Port Arthur that hasn't been painted in 25 years. Hi, Dougie. No one understands that when you have Whistler to compare yourself to, a planned community that doesn't allow you horrible, garish signs that ruin the environment. Everything is done tastefully. And if you don't have someone in charge of tastefulness, you get Thunder Bay, Canada, the most disgusting, horribly vile place to drive around if you can, dodging the potholes that are unbelievable. I won't say anything about the most ugly building in the new part of Fort William, the courthouse. I don't think you could get an uglier building than that courthouse. Monstrosity that pushed out the bus terminal so that people that use the bus have to stand in the street corner in the January 35 below winds. And then they go for a poop in the parking lot of St. Andrew's Church. Trust me, they do. So there you have it. The reason why our fair city is so ugly to drive around in is that no one regulates businesses and their disgusting buildings. No one does anything to figure out why it is that on Simpson Street, all the buildings are vacant, and they have been for 35 years. Wenzel's Clothing, I used to go there when I was a boy to buy jeans. The sign's still there, but all these years? I mean, are they still paying city taxes on that building? Someone must have it. Someone must own it. Why doesn't anything happen on Simpson Street? They put up new pretty streetlights and a few things here and there, but the only new thing we got is the new Newfie's Bar, as if we need another Newfie's Bar. Worst hole in the whole city. Should be bulldozed. Most horrible people end up there. I don't know what to do with Victoriaville Mall. Some people say it's very expensive to keep it going. But the inner city malls are, well, everyone knows that none of the shops can stay open in inner city mall because the rents are so high by Lush. Nobody will tell you who owns inner city mall. It's the Canada Pension Plan that owns this inner city mall. Some kind of a sub-government organization that the reason everything is so expensive is because the rents are so high. And then the other part of the mall is owned by one of these one-percenters, Illuminati bloodline people. You've got the Superstore off the Harbor Expressway, unbelievably disgusting, ugly building, big box ugly. You've got Walmarts, which they sell nothing but crap, but you have to buy that because it's the cheapest place in town and because the wages haven't gone up. When I was 17 years old, I worked at what was Great Lakes Paper at the time as a summer job, and I believe I was making in the order of $16 an hour, which is still more money than what you make if you're working at Robin's Donuts today. But you're supposed to live on this minimum wage that hasn't kept up with inflation. Everyone knows that on April 1st, gas tax went up. Thank you, Justin Trudeau. I mean, is this really fair for the working poor to keep jacking up the prices on gasoline and gas to heat your home? No, it's not. Especially when Justin tells General Motors they don't have to repay billions of dollars in government loans, and then General Motors quietly closes the Oshawa car plant. Clearly, Justin Trudeau is in the pocket of big business, and he should be arrested and sent to Gitmo, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, for the trials of these Illuminati lords that have ruled the planet for so long, and he should be jailed there for 25 years, him and a bunch of spiders on a bare concrete floor. It's too bad we couldn't drag his father back and stick him in the cell next to it. That's who I blame. It is the filthy, rich, disgusting owners of the world. Well, there's my rant for you, but it's true. If you go to Whistler, you could just go Google Whistler and Whistler Village and click on images and see that it is not as garish as Thunder Bay. And you know, if you've driven through any American town, that once Walmart came in, the pretty little downtowns all went out of business, and all you're left with is big box, disgusting buildings and, miles and miles of former shops that were pretty, where you could go and have an inexpensive breakfast or coffee. But no longer, now that the big boxes have pushed the little businesses out, all that's left, even McDonald's has gone so expensive that I don't go there anymore. I can't afford it. I can't afford to live in this backwater piece of garbage town But I can't move to Toronto because $2,500 a month for a one-bedroom apartment is clearly beyond what anybody working at basically any job can afford. Some people say Canada is a first world country and we can afford to donate money to third world countries. No, we can't. Because we are not a first world country. We are a fourth world country. Maybe at one time when we had strong unions, paper mills, and grain elevators, there was a lot of money around, but no longer. People work menial jobs because there aren't any good jobs left, unless you're a psychiatrist working for St. Joseph's at $400,000 to $500,000 a year. Why is that? It beats me. But you know where the government money goes. It goes to pay for these psychiatrists. We don't need these psychiatrists. We don't need these high-priced lawyers. $1 million the city of Thunder Bay spent on legal fees to fight to keep the over 100-year-old clickety-clack bridge to the First Nation. They gave $1 million to lawyers to fight to keep that thing open. $1 million. And then you go down Victoria Avenue and they want to build a roundabout at Ford and Victoria. Why? You've already got a turning lane to go left if you're a bus. So why do you need to go and build something stupid and then go and publicize it and get everyone's comments and they all say, no, thank you, and then ram it down our throats? Why is it that when you send an email to the city to ask about something, no one responds? And why is it when you send a copy of the email that you sent to the city to one of the aldermen, no one responds? I have considered running as a rhino candidate in the next federal election. I need between 100 to 250 people to sign to say that I am a human being living in Thunder Bay. If you think it's a good idea, well, I need a petition, some form filled out. Personally, I wouldn't vote for me. I'm too outspoken. I call things as they are. And I can't be bribed. Unless you take away my parents' house where I live, in which case I'm going to shelter house. And, it's either I accept your bribe or I don't know, I sell my rear end on the street corner on Simpson Street. I'm Bobby Burrows.